So in this next video, I'm actually going to interview a candidate for a position within my company. Now, the candidate's name is Mark. He's 21 years old, and this is his first ever job interview. He has no previous work experience, and I would like your help, please. I want you to tell me in the comments section below the video, after the interview has taken place, whether you would hire him or not based on his performance. Now, this video is also going to be useful for anybody who's never attended a job interview before, or if you are the type of person who has no previous work experience, make sure you watch the video from start to finish, because at the end, I will give you my own feedback as a hiring manager on whether I think this candidate, Mark, is suitable for a position within my company. Let's invite Mark into the interview and let's see how he gets on. Come in.
Hi, I'm here for the interview.
Hello, Mark. Come in.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mark. I'm Richard. Take a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, welcome to the interview, Mark. Thank you very much for coming along. I'm going to be interviewing you today for the position within my company. It's really important that you relax. I understand this is your first job interview, but don't be frightened. Try and relax into your answers so I can really get to know the real you. Can you start off, please, and tell me about yourself?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed today. I would consider myself to be someone who is very hardworking. I'm full of enthusiasm and passion to start in my first job, and I'm determined to make a positive impact. Having read the job description, I'm confident I have the skills and qualities needed to really excel in the job role. And I believe this being my first job is actually an advantage to you because you can shape and mold me to how you need me to be. I also think you'll be impressed by my teamwork ability, my ability to learn and retain information, and my passion for delivering excellent customer service.
Okay, thank you for that answer. The next question is, why do you want to work for us?
I want to work for your company for 3 reasons. The first being that you have a great reputation for being a forward-thinking company that delivers excellent products and services. And that means I will be challenged in the role and I'll have to deliver high standards. And that's something that really appeals to me as a person. I also am aware that you have a talented pool of staff. And that means I'll have the opportunity to learn and develop off those other people as well. And finally, I'm looking for long-term employment with a company. And as your company has a great reputation, I know I'll be happy to work there for the long term.
Okay, and the next question, what are your strengths?
I would say that I have many strengths, but the ones that come to mind are my positive attitude and my can-do attitude, which I feel really rubs off on those around me. I'm also a fast learner and someone who's able to retain information very well, and that means I'll be able to hit the ground running in the role and also get up to speed really quickly. I also consider myself to be someone who really enjoys working as part of a team to support each other and reach a common goal. I would say I'm a loyal person, someone who's honest and has a lot of integrity. So if you were to hire me, I would be a really proud member of your team.
Thank you very much. So the next interview question is, tell me about a time when you delivered excellent customer service.
Although I've never been in a job role where I've had to provide excellent customer service before, I know how to provide it and I fully understand how important it is. A recent example comes to mind where I entered a store and I was greeted straight away by the customer service assistant. She greeted me with a smile. She took the time to talk with me and understand my needs from the products and services that they had to offer. Now, this enabled her to provide great suggestions for me. I ended up making a purchase, and as she was wrapping the product, she took her time and that care really shone through, and it showed that she really cared about the service that she was delivering. Now, when I left the store, the result of that was I had a great feeling. It made me want to go back and make repeat purchases, which I ended up doing in the end. Now, I understand that for you, I need to deliver that same level of customer service and hopefully bring repeat business to your company also.
Okay, tell me, Mark, what's your biggest weakness?
I would say my biggest weakness is that I find it hard to say no to people. If someone asks me for help, I'm the type of person that always wants to say yes. And this means I can take on too much sometimes and become a little overwhelmed. Although I'm very hardworking and it's in my nature to always want to help people, I'm learning that I need to think before I always say yes to everything.
Thank you for that answer. The next question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
As this is my first job, I fully plan on staying here for the long term. And if you're happy with my performance, which I generally believe that you will be, I for sure will still be here in 5 years' time. In 5 years' time, I expect to be a highly respected member of the team. And ideally, I would love to be in a position where I can help train up newer members of staff.
Okay, thank you for that. Why are you applying for this job?
There are 3 reasons why I'm applying for this job role. The first being is that it's local to me, so I won't have to travel far. The second being, you have a great track record of success, which means I'll be able to grow alongside your company. The third reason is that I believe there's an opportunity for advancement within your company, which is something that really appeals to me.
Okay, thank you. The next interview question. Which do you prefer, working as part of a team or working on your own?
To be honest, I prefer working as part of a team. That way we get to support each other and we get to work towards achieving common goals. However, I'm more than capable of working alone and unsupervised. Having recently completed my studies, I had to spend many hours alone revising for exams and completing my essays. So I would say I'm the type of person who's adaptable and can work well both in a team and alone.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell me what's your availability like?
I'm very flexible when it comes to availability. I understand I need to be available as and when required, and my personal life means that I can work the hours needed and at short notice. I'm also saving up for a car, so I'm happy to work as much as possible.
Okay, thank you. This is the final interview question, and this is your opportunity to shine. So tell me, why should I hire you?
You should hire me for 4 reasons. The first reason being, I'm a fast learner, and that means I'll be able to get up to speed quickly within the job role. The second reason is my positive attitude and my friendly nature. Third reason is my skills and qualities are a match for the job description. And finally, the fourth reason is I believe I'm a blank canvas, which means you can train me up to be the perfect employee.
Okay, thank you, Mark. That's the end of the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
I just have 2 questions. The first question is, what advice would you give to the successful candidate?
Well, my advice to the successful candidate would be to make sure they get up to speed quickly in the role. That's really important. Also, to listen to your brief. So if you are successful, I will give you numerous tasks that you are responsible for. Make sure you listen to the brief and then you go away and always carry out your duties on time and to the highest standards possible. The other piece of advice I would give to the successful candidate is to make sure that you are open to change. We have to change a lot within this organization to stay ahead of our competitors. And it's also really important that you embrace ongoing development. And I like the type of employee who will always take responsibility for their own learning and development.
Thank you. The second question is, what are the plans for the company over the next 5 years?
So over the next 5 years, we really plan to expand as a company. So we interact with our customers on a regular basis. We always ask our customers for feedback, and based on that feedback, we create and develop new products. So we are looking to expand our product range significantly over the next 5 years. And that's why it's really important in this role, if you are successful, that you always provide outstanding customer service.
Can I just say thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed today. Good luck with the rest of the interviews, and I look forward to hearing from you.
So that's the interview over. Now, in a second, I'm going to give you my feedback based on Mark's performance. But before I do, tell me in the comments section below the video what you thought about Mark. Do you think I should take him on within the role in my company? Tell me the good bits about his interview and also the bad bits, the areas that you think he could have improved upon. Let me now give you my own feedback. Now, typically, a hiring manager will use a job interview score sheet to assess the candidate's performance. And in a second, I will tell you how I personally scored Mark and whether or not I am going to give him the opportunity in the role. But a job interview score sheet will include things such as first impressions. What was the candidate like when they came into the room? Did they display good manners? Did they offer a firm handshake? Did they not sit down in the interview chair until invited to do so? And also the score sheet will include body language, interview technique, and also how the candidate responded to the interview questions. So what was Mark like when he first walked into the interview room? Well, I felt he demonstrated really good manners. He knocked on the door, he came over to me, he introduced himself, and he gave a firm handshake whilst looking me in the eye. Now that tells me he is a confident person. I want to take on somebody who is confident in the role. And he didn't sit down in the interview chair until invited to do so. So I was impressed with the the start of the interview. I also liked the fact that he dressed smart and professionally, and that told me he probably has high standards. Now, one particular area that I scored Mark down on was the fact that he didn't bring along his resume to the interview. Now, of course, you will have already submitted your resume in your application for the job, but it's really good practice to take along your CV or your resume to the interview in a nice looking presentation folder, because if the interviewer says to you, walk me through your resume, you can refer to it during the interview. So let's now take a look at Mark's answers to the interview questions. So the first question I asked him was, tell me about yourself. Now, I liked his answer. It was okay. It was very positive and upbeat, which was good, but I felt he could have expanded a little bit more in relation to his educational background, what he's been doing in between his studies and applying for a job. And also, I would have liked to have known a little bit more about what he gets up to outside of work. However, I thought his answer was very positive, it was upbeat, and it was a good start to his interview. So the second interview question I asked the candidate was, why do you want to work for us? I quite liked his answer. Again, it was very positive, which I really liked about Mark. He had this infectious positivity, but I felt I would have liked to have heard a little bit more about the research he would have carried out into our company. So if he'd have said to me, before applying for the job, I researched your organization, I had a look at your website, I had a look at your social media pages, and I even tried your products and services, that would have been a better way to answer the question, why do you want to work for us? So the next interview question is relatively an easy one in my opinion to answer, and that is, what are your strengths? He gave some really, really good strengths, and I like the fact that he referred to the job description time and time again throughout the interview. That tells me he's had a look at the job description and he's confident he has the strengths and the skills and qualities to carry out the duties to the expected standards. So the next interview question was a really difficult one for Mark because he has no previous work experience. And the question is, tell me about a time when you provided excellent customer service. I thought this was one of Mark's better answers because he demonstrated an understanding of the importance of customer service. And instead of saying, I've never been in that situation, he gave me an example of when somebody provided him with excellent customer service. And that's a really smart way to answer difficult behavioral interview questions. So he scored really highly with that response. So the next interview question is probably one of the hardest ones to answer during a job interview. And that was, what's your biggest weakness? Now, I really liked Mark's answer. He said that he found it hard saying no to people. I liked that from a hiring manager's perspective because I felt I could give him loads of work and he would probably say yes all of the time. So it was a smart answer. Now, you have to be really careful when you answer that question, what's your biggest weakness? Never say, my biggest weakness is I am a perfectionist, because the interviewer will see straight through it. You have to be genuine in your answer and do make sure you give a weakness that is actually relevant to you. Now, of course, the next interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, is another relatively easy one to answer. You have to be honest in your response. However, if you were to say to me in 5 years' time, I'm going to move on to a different company, that would put me off. Because when I take on someone within a role, I have to spend a lot of time training them up. So I don't want them to leave soon after. So Mark's answer, again, I thought was clever. He planned to stay working for me for a long period of time. He wanted to get his career off to a good start. And that answer, in my opinion, scored very highly. Now, the next interview question was, why are you applying for this job? Mark gave 3 reasons. He didn't just give 1, he gave 3. So the first reason was because the company was local to him. Now, of course, a lot of people apply for jobs because they are local, but I wouldn't have used that as a reason for applying for the job. The second reason was a relatively good one, and that's because he said I had an impressive track record of achievement and he felt he could grow with the company. That was okay. However, the third one was a really good reason because he felt that later on down the line there might be an opportunity for advancement. I liked that because that tells me he's keen and enthusiastic and he's more likely to stay working for me for a long period of time. So the next interview question is one that I like to ask a lot during job interviews, and that is, which do you prefer, working as part of a team or working on your own? Mark gave a really good answer in my opinion. he said that he preferred to work as part of a team, but that he was also flexible and adaptable, and he wouldn't be averse to working on his own. That was a great way to answer that question. The next interview question, what's your availability like? I liked his answer because he tied it in with the fact that he said he was saving up to buy a car and therefore he wanted to work as much as possible. That was really good because he aligned his answer with his personal goals outside of work. In my opinion, the more hours you can work, the more chances are you will get hired. So the final interview question was a real opportunity for Mark to impress me, for him to sell himself. Now, I liked the fact that he said you should hire me for 4 reasons. So he'd obviously prepared his answer to this question in advance, and that's what you should do. I like the fact that he just didn't give me 1 reason why I should take him on, he gave 4. So the first reason was because he was a fast learner. I liked that because I'm quite an impatient person and I don't want to have to spend lots of time training somebody up. He would go away, he would learn things quickly, and then he could start contributing to the team's goals. Now, the second reason he stated why I should hire him was because he had a positive attitude and a friendly nature. That tells me he will be good working as part of a team. He will fit into my team quickly. The third one, he mentioned the job description again. I like that. He said, I've read the job description. I've got the skills and qualities needed to match the requirements of the role. And the fourth reason, which was really good, I loved this. I haven't heard it that much during job interviews, but he basically said, I'm a blank canvas and you can train me up to be the perfect employee. That's a great thing to say when answering the question, why should I hire you, especially when you have no previous work experience? So would I take Mark on in the role? Yes, I would. I will offer Mark the position. And the main reason why I will take him up in the role is because I felt he was very positive. And as you could see from his answers, even though he used his hands quite a lot, that doesn't matter, but it was a little bit distracting. But I love the fact that he was very positive about life. He was very positive about getting the job. And I felt that I could take him under my wing, I could train him, and I could teach him the necessary skills and qualities to really excel in the position. And also, I felt that Mark would end up working for me for a long period of time. And again, that's a really good thing to talk about in your job interview. So if you have your first job interview coming up and you have 0 experience, the next thing to do is to click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video. Head through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download my full set of 50 interview questions and top scoring answers. It's going to help make you be the standout candidate during your interview. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and please give the video a like. I very much appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best for passing your interview. Have a brilliant day.